Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join me as we explore Southwest's lost historical characters, stunning desert vistas, forgotten Native American history, or tales of lost gold mines. There's always something new to discover. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest desert adventures. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. Sit back and enjoy. Welcome to Southwest Desert, where we explore the most fascinating untold stories from America's Southwest past. I'm your host, Alan, and today we're diving deep into one of the Southwest's most enduring mysteries, a tale that's been captivating treasure hunters and historians for more than a century. This story is a new addition to the Lost Peralta Gold story, a mystery that has drawn countless searchers into Arizona's forbidding Superstition Mountains. Let me take you back to the mid-19th century, specifically to 1847. The Peralta family of Mexico, already well known in mining circles, had made an extraordinary discovery. In the heart of the Superstition Mountains, they'd found a gold deposit so incredibly rich that it would become the stuff of legend. For 3 years, they worked their claim in these treacherous mountains, extracting fortune after fortune in high-grade ore. But the mountains held more than just gold. They held danger at every turn. The year 1850 marked a pivotal moment in our story. The Peraltas had made a difficult decision. This would be their final expedition into the Superstitions. The repeated threats from Apache warriors had become too great to ignore. Under Pedro Peralta's careful supervision, they began preparing for their last journey home. They selected only the finest ore, including precious placer sand, the kind of gold-rich material that could make men wealthy beyond their wildest dreams. As they loaded their burro train for the journey back to Mexico, they had no way of knowing they were being watched. High above in the rocky crags, Apache warriors had been observing the mining operation with keen interest. They knew every movement of the Peralta party, every routine, every vulnerability. As the heavily laden pack train began its journey, the Apache made their move. The attack was swift, brutal, and absolute. When the dust settled, not a single member of the Peralta party had survived. But here's where our story takes an unexpected turn, one that adds a fascinating layer to this tragic tale. The Apache warriors weren't interested in the gold ore at all. Their priorities were far more practical. They took the tools, the weapons, the clothing, even the cooking utensils. But the precious ore? They simply cut the pack saddles and let the valuable rocks scatter across the mountainside, leaving a fortune in gold lying among the desert scrub. The years rolled by, and the story of the Peralta massacre became part of the region's lore, passed down through countless retellings. Each version added its own embellishments, but the core remained the same. Somewhere in the Superstitions, valuable gold ore lay scattered on the ground, and an incredibly rich gold ledge waited to be rediscovered. Enter C.H. Silverlock, a cowboy who heard these tales and found himself captivated by the possibility of easy riches. What made this story particularly appealing to Silverlock was the nature of the supposed treasure. He wasn't a miner by trade. The idea of back-breaking underground work held little appeal. But the stories he heard suggested something different: rich gold ore lying right on the surface, requiring nothing more than the effort to pick it up and carry it away. Thank you for joining your desert frontiersman Alan for another Southwest Lost Gold story. If you enjoy my time and channel, hit the super thanks heart icon on the bottom of the video and contribute. This is very helpful. Relax and enjoy. In the early months of 1914, Silverlock made his first strategic move. He took a job at a ranch near the western end of the Superstition Mountains. This wasn't just any position. It was his gateway to exploring these mysterious peaks. Every spare moment away from his ranch duties, he was out there, methodically searching the canyons and arroyos. He'd pan the sandy washes, occasionally finding just enough gold to keep his hopes alive and his determination strong. The landscape he searched was both beautiful and forbidding. The Superstitions aren't your typical mountain range. They're a maze of steep canyons, sheer cliffs, and deadly drop-offs. Saguaro cacti stand like silent sentinels, while thorny ocotillo and hardy palo verde trees add splashes of color to the rocky terrain. It's the kind of place where you could walk past a fortune a dozen times and never know it. Then came the moment that would transform Silverlock's quest from a part-time pursuit into an all-consuming obsession. He was riding on the northeast side of the Superstitions, an area dotted with old prospect holes where previous dreamers had tried their luck. Taking a break on a hillside, he noticed what appeared to be an outcrop of quartz, partially hidden by desert vegetation and the natural rubble of the mountainside. What happened next must have seemed like a dream. Silverlock dismounted and picked up a piece of the quartz. One look told him this wasn't ordinary rock. It was rich with gold, the kind of specimen that makes a prospector's heart race. Better yet, there was more of it, just lying there on the ground. Excited beyond measure, Silverlock rushed back to the ranch to get his tools. But when he returned, something strange happened. Something that would set the pattern for months of frustration to come. He could find no trace of the original ledge. The loose ore was still there, scattered across the slope, but its source seemed to have vanished into the mountain itself. Undaunted, Silverlock dug a shallow trench up the slope, hoping to cross-cut the ore vein. Nothing. Yet as his search expanded, he found more scattered piles of rich ore on the surface, each discovery adding to the mystery. Silverlock's approach became increasingly methodical. He carefully sacked up every piece of rich ore he found, creating caches for future transport. He staked out numerous claims across the area, ensuring that when he finally found the mother lode, his right to mine it would be secured. The scattered pieces of rich ore and occasional patches of gold-bearing sand convinced him that multiple rich ledges must exist in the vicinity. Eventually, Silverlock brought in a partner to help with the search. Together, they made an extraordinary discovery, a place where the very sand under their feet glittered with fine gold. They scooped up the golden soil and packed it to the nearest water source, where panning revealed many pounds of fine gold. But like everything else in this puzzling quest, the placer deposit was frustratingly limited. Beyond a small plot, the gold disappeared as mysteriously as it had appeared. Summer came, bringing with it the brutal heat of the Arizona desert. Silverlock's partner, having earned a respectable sum from their shared discoveries, decided to seek the comforts of city life. But Silverlock couldn't let go. He quit his ranch job entirely, devoting every daylight hour to his search for the source of the rich ore. The mystery had him in its grip. He could find no peace until he located the mother lode. Then came the day that would bring both answers and new mysteries. As Silverlock worked his pick under the burning sun, he noticed a lone rider approaching from the plain below. The visitor was an elderly Native American man, sitting straight and proud on a well-groomed horse. Despite his advanced age, Silverlock estimated him to be in his 80s. The man carried himself with remarkable dignity. He introduced himself as Conchas, speaking excellent English and displaying a friendly demeanor that belied the weight of the information he carried. Conchas spent an hour carefully surveying Silverlock's various diggings, occasionally glancing toward the towering pinnacles above. Finally, he dismounted near where Silverlock sat, took out a pipe, and began to share his story. He told of his youth in the far north, where harsh winters and disease had driven him to follow the path of migrating birds and buffalo southward. He'd found a home among the Apache in this region, becoming one of their warriors. Then came the revelation that would change everything. Conchas had been among 23 young Apache warriors who responded to smoke signals from the south. They'd hidden near a trail used by Mexican miners, waiting until the sun was high in the sky. When the Peralta pack train appeared, loaded with ore and accompanied by numerous Mexican people, the Apache attacked. The Mexicans fled toward the mountains, but many didn't survive the pursuit. "We wanted only the mules, the guns, ponies, knives, and food they had," Conchas explained. "When we found a mule loaded with rocks, we dumped it on the ground, and that is the ore you have been finding. There are no gold ledges in this place." Then came the tantalizing question that would haunt Silverlock for the rest of his days. Would you like to dig where there is gold? But Silverlock, frustrated by the revelation that his months of work had been in vain, responded angrily, telling Conchas to use his tools and dig for himself. The old man simply turned and rode away. It was only after he'd gone that Silverlock realized his mistake. Had Conchas known the location of the real Peralta mine? Despite searching through the night, Silverlock never saw the mysterious Indian again. Silverlock did have one consolation. The scattered ore and placer gold he'd already recovered amounted to a considerable fortune. Accepting that further search for the Peralta mine would be futile, he left the superstitions behind. But his story adds another fascinating layer to the legend, serving as compelling evidence that the Peraltas did indeed have a rich mine somewhere in these mountains, a mine they managed to conceal so well that it remains hidden to this day. Even now, more than 170 years after the Peraltas worked their claim, their lost mine remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the American Southwest. Somewhere in those rugged mountains, beneath the watchful eye of Weaver's needle, a rich gold ledge may still be waiting to be rediscovered. This has been Southwest Desert. Join us next week when we explore another fascinating tale from America's Southwest past. Until then, keep searching for the extraordinary stories hiding in plain sight. Check out my large catalog of Southwest videos and playlists. Happy trails! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.